September 24th, City of Dauphin Council meeting, and this is the last council meeting of this term for all the councillors and the mayor. I guess I'll be here next year, next term, but hopefully we'll have 2 more additions to our slate here. So moved by Deputy Mayor Bellemare and seconded by Councillor Juba, be it resolved that council accepts the regular agenda as presented. Call the question, all in favor, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Eilers, be it resolved that the reading be waived and the council accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meeting, the regular council meeting of September 10th, 2018. So call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba and seconded by Councillor Eilers. Whereas the Municipal Act 162 states each member of the council must attend the public hearing unless the member is excused by other members from attending the hearing, is unable to attend owing to illness, or is required under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act to withdraw from the hearing, be it resolved that council excuses the following council member from the September 24th, 2018 public hearing schedule, and that's Councillor Tkachuk. Call the question, all in favor, motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Juba, be it resolved that council now adjourns to hear the public hearing as scheduled. Council will now proceed to hear the representation from the applicant and any other persons who wish to make representation for these scheduled public hearings. Anyone who is not registered but wishes to make a presentation for the public hearings, please register with the executive assistant. And I have John Urey as registered here for both here. We'll now proceed with the public hearing for conditional use application number 1205-2190-CU-18-01/04 for owner applicant John Urey for Lot 14, Block 2, Plan 420 DLTO 118 Buchanan Avenue to allow the construction of 2-family dwelling in a residential single-family zone. Would the applicant like to speak in favor of the application?
Sure. Just here to answer some questions for anybody who has questions what we're actually doing there. Just want to build a single-family, 2-family, 1-bedroom units, pretty small. Yeah, there's not much to say there. Just if you have any questions, to answer them.
Council have any questions? Deputy Mayor Bellemare.
Yeah, I know there's certainly a need for housing in our area, so thank you for doing that. And probably with a 1-bedroom in that size, you're looking at 1 or 2 people, like a single or a couple kind of thing.
Yeah, mostly singles that
Okay.
we're see beginning. We're kind of after that single business professional, and they don't really have. So that's why the square footage is kind of smaller.
Okay.
We've had some two people in there, but not very often. It's usually single people.
Okay, so you don't anticipate a problem renting it with that size?
Not at all.
Okay.
This is almost identical to our triplex that we did in Maine a couple of years back, and it's been really successful. Yeah. So.
Any other questions of councilors? We'll go on to the next one. We'll now proceed with the public hearing for variance application number 1205-2198 00/VO-18-01/08 for owner and applicant John Yeri for Lot 14, Block 2, Plan 420 DLTO 118, Buchanan Avenue. It's the same. Okay. Okay. To vary the minimum requirements for the site area, site width and dwelling unit area to allow for the construction of a new 24-foot by 50-foot, 1,200 square foot, two-family duplex dwelling in a residential family zone. Would the applicant like to speak in favor or?
Yes.
You just said what you.
Well, yeah, no, I was just going to say that, yeah, going back to the size requirements, it's a smaller building, right?
Okay.
From the allowable limit, right? So, yeah, just.
Okay. Councilors have any questions? Councilor Juba.
Thank you, John. I just want to echo Deputy Mayor Bellmer's remarks about your housing initiatives in our community. Just for the record, how many homes have you built in the last since you started 3 or 4 years ago? Can you give a little bit of a history of how many homes that you have started and how many you plan to build going forward?
Can we be counting my head now?
Well, no, just
it's funny you said that. It's good. It's good. You talking actual units itself,
Yes.
like individual units
well,
or buildings?
yeah, buildings, units, yeah.
Buildings. Let's say 10 buildings I built, and then they're all multiple units between fourplexes, triplexes, and duplex. So it's quite a few, 26 to 30 units, something like that. Yeah, and we like to continue as long as we can, right?
So you're obviously meeting the market demand. And
Oh, for sure.
You're building the units according to what the market is asking for.
Yes, absolutely. People want a nice place to live, clean, neat, and, a little more high-end. So that's, and again, most people that are renting are not even from here. They're all outsiders coming in. So it's quite interesting, actually.
Well, keep up the good work.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Any other questions? Thank you. The representations for this public hearing are now completed. Moved by Councillor Eiler, seconded by Councillor Juba, be it resolved that the public hearing for conditional use order application number 1205 219800/CU-18-01/4 for owner applicant John Yuri for Lot 14, Block 2, Plan 420 DLTO 118 Buchanan Avenue be now concluded. Questions? We'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Got to repeat the same thing, I think, probably next. Yep. Moved by Councillor Eiler, seconded by Councillor Juba, be it resolved that the public hearing for variance order application number 1205 2198-00/VO-18-01/08 for owner applicant John Yuri for Lot 14, Block 2, Plan 420 DLTO 118 Buchanan Avenue be now concluded. Any questions? I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Staccato, seconded by Councillor Deputy Mayor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council now reconvenes to the regular council meeting. We'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Oh,
He has more lines for you.
Oh,
you gotta we wanted to prove you gotta listen to all of this. Moved by Councillor Aller, seconded by Councillor Juba. Whereas due notice was given with respect to conditional use order application number 1205-21900/CU/1801/04. And whereas no objections were received to the application, be it resolved that conditional use order application number 1205-219-800/CU-1801/04 for owner applicant John Yeary for lot 14, block 2, plan 420 DLTO 118 Buchanan Avenue to allow the construction of a two-family dwelling in a residential single-family zone to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw be approved with the following condition. The owner obtains a variance allowing a reduced site area, site width, and dwelling unit area. Any questions? Call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Now this is the big one, John. Boy. Moved by Councillor Eiler, seconded by Deputy Mayor Bellemare. Whereas due notice was given with respect to the variance order application number 1205-219-800/VO-18-01/08, and whereas no objections were received to the application, and whereas council approved the conditional use application order number 1205-219-800/CU-18-01/04, and to allow the construction of a two-family dwelling in a residential single-family zone with the condition to obtain a variance order on the site area, site width, and dwelling area. Be it resolved that the variance order application, again, 1205-219-800/VO-18-01/084, owner applicant John Yeary for lot 14, block 2, plan 420 DLTO 118 Buchanan Avenue to vary the minimum site area from 600 square meters to 534.2 square meters, and the minimum site width from 19.8 meters to 15.24 meters, and the minimum dwelling unit area from 70 square meters to 55.7 square meters to allow the construction of a new 24-foot by 50-foot, 1,200 square foot two-family dwelling duplex dwelling in a residential family zone to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw be approved with the following condition. The owner obtains a building permit and complies with the Manitoba Building Code, including the provision of a complete set of construction drawings as prepared and stamped by the professional engineer licensed to practice in Manitoba. Any new branch utility service connection from the main lines to the building be installed at the owner's expense. Primary access from a lane is permitted, but no additional lane maintenance or snow clearing over and above the city's policy will be provided. This owner is responsible to ensure the building layout and grading is in accordance with the City of Dauphin policy and the approval site plan. And lot surface drainage cannot adversely affect adjacent property, and to be designed and constructed in consultation and cooperation with those adjacent property owners. Any questions? Call a question. All in favor? Motion carried. That's it, John.
Thank you.
Not to make you sit through.
Yeah.
All the best. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you
so much.
for building.
Thank you.
Thank you.
moved by Deputy Mayor Bellemare and seconded by Councilor Juba, be it resolved that all items listed below under item 5 consent agenda be approved as follows and form part of these minutes. The proclamation of Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the city of Dauphin is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Dauphin, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations of where people are at their greatest risk from fire, and whereas Dauphin residents should identify places in their homes where fires can start and eliminate those hazards, and whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in a reported home fires in half, and whereas Dauphin residents should install smoke alarms in every sleeping room, outside each separate sleeping area and on every level of the home, and whereas Dauphin residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire, and whereas the members of the Dauphin Fire Department are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fire injuries through the prevention and protection education, and whereas the 2018 Fire Prevention Week theme, look, listen, learn, be aware, fire can happen anywhere, effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our fire safety. And whereas Dauphin residents are urged to be aware of their surroundings, look for available points of escape in the event of a fire or other emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Dauphin Fire Department during the Fire Prevention Week. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim the week of October 7th to the 13th, 2018 as Fire Prevention Week, dated at the City of Dauphin in the province of Manitoba, this 24th day of September 2018. And some very good advice in that proclamation for residents. Second one is the proclamation of the Medical Radiation Technology MRT Week. Whereas the citizens of Dauphin recognize the immeasurable value of medical radiation technology in the diagnostic and treatment of field of medicine, and whereas medical radiation technologists are highly skilled healthcare professionals dedicated to providing the highest standard of care to patients while maintaining a high degree of technical competence. And whereas the medical radiation technologists, in concert with their colleagues across Canada, continually establish new levels of standards of excellence in each of the 4 vital disciplines within the profession of medical radiation technology, to wit the fields of medical radiological X-ray technology, nuclear medicine technology, magnetic MRI technology, and radiation therapy. And whereas 89 years ago in 1929, the Medical Association of Medical Radiation and Technology was formed, making it the first such organization in Canada, whereas the Manitoba membership has grown from original 25 to 900, and whereas nationwide medical radiation technologies annually celebrate their essential role from MRT Week to allow fall in the week of November 8th within the day Wilhelm Röntgen discovered what is known as the X-rays. Really? Anyway, Now therefore read the council of the city of Dauphin do hereby proclaim the week of November 4th to the 10th, 2018 as Medical Radiation Technology MRT Week, dated at the city of Dauphin in the province of Manitoba this 24th day of September 2018. And it's sort of appropriate with the MRI machine close to liftoff, as people tell me, so by the end of next month, I think. As recommended by the mayor and the city manager, outstanding water accounts added to taxes. That's a total of $230.34, all because of failure to pay the final water bill. And filing items, Association AMM News Bulletin of September 20th, 2018, member advisory of September 10th, 2018, review of the accessibility for Manitobans Act, and news release of September 19th, the city caucuses talks cannabis and municipal infrastructure. The Manitoba Procurement Services Branch, single point of access for tendering. Western Canada Growth Strategy as recommended by the mayor and the city manager. Any questions? Call the questions, all in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Bellemare and seconded by Councillor Sticano, be it resolved that council accepts as information the following corporate reports for September 24th, 2018 regular council meeting and that of the city manager. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. September continues to be a busy month with people getting back to work after summer vacations, and it's also filled with many meetings both in Dauphin and outside of town. I did want to congratulate Mayor Dauphin on being acclaimed for our mayor of the next term, 2018 to 2022. Look forward to working with you, and good luck to everyone else who's running. Some of the things that we've been dealing with in the last couple of weeks since our last council meeting. One is we continue to work on that development agreement template and should have some final drafts back from the lawyer this week. On September 11th, the city manager, Director of Public Works and Operations, and I met at the Watson Arts Center for a meeting, and there was representation from the Dauphin District Allied Arts Council and One by One Architecture and several of their supporting firms to discuss a study that the Art Council commissioned to identify improvements to the building, prioritize those improvements, and to provide the cost of each. Once this report is complete and the projects have been identified and prioritized, the Dauphin District Allied Arts Council can focus their efforts of their Big Ask campaign to raise the money for these improvements. And subsequently, the city will have discussions regarding further contributions to that campaign. Another topic that we were dealing with was some signage in the joint industrial park. The economic development manager and I worked with the arm of Dauphin's assistant administrator to help the Dauphin Kings choose a spot to place a sign on their leased ag land in the joint industrial park. The Dauphin Kings are leasing that land and using it as a fundraiser for their organization, and they want to erect a sign to say thank you to their donors. I attended a Protective Services Committee meeting on September 12th. It had taken, I'm going to say, several months to get the date. It's always difficult to get a date with many different groups and organizations over the summer. So it was good to have that meeting. Several issues were discussed, and there was a presentation from a resident and business owner. The mayor and I attended the Electoral Boundary Commission on September 13th, 2018, and Councillor Eilers joined us as well for that meeting. The purpose of the hearing was to voice opinions regarding the proposed changes to the provincial electoral boundaries. And according to the Electoral Divisions Act, boundaries must be reviewed every 10 years, and the last review is in 2008. So that was something that I learned. I didn't know why they were doing it now, and I guess we can expect something in 2028 again. The Commission's mandate is to finalize the review by the end of December 31st, 2018. The current boundary encompasses the parkland from St. Rose in the east to Roblin in the west, and reinforcing our area of trade and business. The proposed boundary includes Dauphin in the southeast and Swan River in the northwest. 7 groups made presentations at the hearing, including one from Mayor Dauphin. While the solutions were not consistent between the presenters, it was clear that none of the delegations agreed with the proposed boundaries. Something else that happened was the traffic signals at Mountain and River were turned on, and that was on the afternoon of September 13th. So the mayor, along with MLA Mikuleski, had the honors of turning those signals on, and it seemed like people started to use those signals right away, except for that first guy. And so from the city's standpoint, we did have to rework the pedestrian crosswalks to function better with the pedestrian movements, and it will take some time for people to change their patterns or change their habits, but we do have the west crosswalk across Mountain closed at this time, so everybody needs to cross on the east, and that's where the safest part is, and we will look at redoing some of the sidewalk work in 2019 so that anybody can cross at any of those legs of the intersection. The city manager and I attended the Manitoba Municipal Administrators Association, or MMAA, Fall District meeting in Winnipeg on September 14th. Historically, these fall district meetings occurred in each district with representation from the MMAA board and staff, as well as other presenters attending each meeting. There are currently 7 districts throughout the province, so that took up much time and resources from the board staff, and the presenters. In 2017, it was decided to change the format to just 2 fall district meetings, one in Winnipeg for districts 3, 4, and 7, and one in Brandon for the remaining districts 1, 2, 5, and 6. Brad and myself do belong to District 7, and that encompasses members in areas north of Rocky Mountain National Park, south of Nunavut, east of Saskatchewan, and west of the major lakes. And so it was decided that we would attend the meeting in Winnipeg to allow our colleagues from more northern areas to fly in to attend. So at this meeting, earlier this month, we heard presentations from a municipal services officer who relayed many of the upcoming initiatives and deadlines from the provincial government, as well as presentations from workplace safety and workplace health and safety and the Office of the Ombudsman. And we ended the day with a meeting of just the District 7 attendees. Weekend of September 15th and 16th was our giveaway weekend, and from what I heard, it was a success again. Seemed like things were moving off the curb just as quickly as they could be put on, and I did check with our shop, and there were no reported issues of excessive litter or items left out in front yard, so I do thank residents for that. On September 17th, we held our Household Hazardous Waste Day at the city shop. This event is held once per year, and residents can drop off household hazardous materials that they may have around their homes. Things like paint, antifreeze, used bulbs, used oil, burnt out light bulbs, and batteries. By disposing of these items properly, it keeps them out of the city's landfill, which is a better choice for the environment. Many thanks to the people who made this day happen, including our fire department, our shop staff, the Lions Club, who takes batteries, Ecoil, which takes used oil filters and containers, Miller Environmental, and they're the company who receives all of the other items and disposes of them, as well as our executive assistant for organizing the day. While we don't have the numbers yet, anecdotal accounts indicate that there were at least as many vehicles as last year. Furthermore, our executive assistant met with a representative of Product Care Manitoba on September 21st to review the day. and as well as the city's, not just the date, but the city's promotion of the event upcoming to it. And the representative was floored in a good way by how well organized we are, how well we promote the event, how willing participants are to save their products and dispose of them on that day, and how much product is actually gathered. She wanted to use some of our processes as examples in other communities, so I do have to give kudos to our group that puts that day together and for being a good example in our province. The mayor and I attended the AMM Fall Cities Caucus in Flin Flon on September 19th. This is a subcommittee of AMM that includes the mayors and city managers, or CAOs, of Manitoba's 10 cities. The meeting agenda included discussions regarding the Manitoba Road and Bridge Improvement Program, Canada's legalization, and there was issues with the 911 emergency response in some of our northern communities. There was also a presentation regarding the Public Interest Disclosure Whistleblower Protection Act. After lunch, the Mayor of Flin Flon, Cal Henley, led the group around Flin Flon for a bus tour. So I saw many of their sites and ended the day at their museum and taking a look at their mascot Flinton. So that was a highlight for me because I remember seeing the little vignettes on TV growing up about how Flin Flon got their name. And toward the end of last week, so on September 20th, I attended my first airport board meeting as a city manager and the incoming accountable executive. It was my first meeting, and we discussed issues like including airport finances, damages from attempted break-in, land leases, and tenant representatives on board. And that concluded my 2-week stint of meetings almost every day. Thank you.
Any questions of the city manager? Deputy Mayor.
It's not really a question, it's just a comment when you were talking about the hazardous waste. Like I happened to turn down Jackson Street and the vehicles were lined up from the Public Works office all the way to the bridge. So people have really embraced that, and obviously it's well organized because you were saying they were really impressed with the organization. So kudos to the organizers and the community for embracing that.
Anybody else? Councillor Irish.
Of course, we're going to city council meeting that night, so I did get a neighbor to take all mine, and his comment was that it was very quick and fast. He saw this big lineup and he thought it would take forever, and he said it actually went really quick. And they seemed to know where to put everything. There was from all sides. They had come and taken all the things, and one of the things I sent is fluorescent tubes. So kudos to doing that, and also how quick it went. So I'm sure that everybody appreciates that.
Pass that on.
Any other questions? Just on the giveaway weekend, it was amazing how many things I got rid of. But I have a turquoise bathtub yet. If anybody nobody wanted it. And people looked at it and looked at it, and I tried to sell it for nothing, and nobody bought it. So anyway, thank you very much, Charlotte. Moved by Councillor Juba.
I was wondering if you donate that to the community's improvement, we could plant a whole bunch of flowers. It could be a centerpiece for something.
Come in.
And I'll be there in the morning.
You want it?
Well, I'm just thinking that I've seen in a couple of places where they've taken a boat and they've got like a little garden and stuff, but I also saw a bathtub where they had amazing flowers that draped over, so maybe we can get Secord and Crow involved in just an ultimate plant, because it's great for plants.
If anybody comes and wants it, I'll say it's taken, but if you don't take it by the spring,
It'll be my
Drop it
bag.
off here.
Fine, Karen.
It's your yard. Moved by Counselor Juba, seconded by Counselor Sticilo, be it resolved that the finance accounts having been examined by council, be hereby authorized and approved as follows. Checks from 23540 to 23606, that's 67 checks for $992,013.74. There was no voided checks. Any questions? I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, be it resolved that council accepts as information the following engineering department staff reports for the September 24th regular council meeting, that of the building inspector and the construction and maintenance foreman. Any questions? I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Sticalo, be it resolved that council accepts as information the minutes of the following committee or organization meeting, the Fort Dauphin Museum, the regular board meeting of August 1st, managers' reports of September 5th, and the finance reports, the Dauphin Public Library, the meeting of September 11th, report of September 11th, and a finance report, and the Intermountain Conservation District Annual Report 2017-2018. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Juba, be it resolved that council accepts as information a memorandum dated September 21st, 2018 from the City Manager outlining the City of Dauphin applied for and was awarded the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Climate Innovation Program to grant to create a community energy plan to assist the reduction of greenhouse gases emissions in our municipality with the goal of becoming a net zero community, and recommending that council endorses the agreement between the FCM and the City of Dauphin to administer the grant. Further, be it resolved that council agrees with the city manager's recommendation and authorizes the mayor and city manager to sign and seal the agreement between FCM and the City of Dauphin regarding the MCIP grant program. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Staccato, seconded by Councillor Juba, be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated August 28, 2018 from Joe Massey, Executive Director of AMM regarding the FCM Municipal Asset Management Program, MAMP, and the requirements of the grant application, and further be it resolved that council directs administration to apply for the grant opportunity from FCM's Municipal Asset Management Program for the City of Dauphin's Asset Management Plan, and further be it resolved that the City of Dauphin commits to conducting the following activities in the proposed project submitted to the FCM MAMP to advance our asset management program, that of asset management assessment, asset management plans, policies and strategies, data collection and reporting, training and organizational development, and knowledge transfer. And further be it resolved that if successful in this application, the City of Dauphin commits council consideration up to $12,500 from the 2019 financial plan towards the cost of this initiative. Any questions? I think the summer student did a lot of legwork on this already, so we're quite ahead of many communities in this. I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Staccato and seconded by Councillor Ayers, be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence from Dauphin Super Thrifty Pharmacy located at 224 Main Street North requesting the permission to install an accessibility ramp and railing into the business which encroaches onto the city sidewalk. And further be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memorandum dated September 21st, 2018 from the building inspector reviewing the request and recommending its approval with conditions. And further be it resolved that Council agrees with the building inspector and authorizes the construction of a concrete accessibility ramp and railing to the property located at 224 Main Street North, encroaching onto the sidewalk with a footprint of approximately 8.026 meters by 1.219 meters with the following condition. The owner obtains a development permit from the installation of the proposed accessibility ramp and railing. The owner is responsible for the cost of its construction and maintenance of the ramp and railing, including repairs and all seasonal maintenance. The owner is responsible for all costs involved in the reconstruction and repair of the existing sidewalk resulting from the construction and future use of the ramp and cost to relocate the existing apron. Okay.
I've
Boy,
never
that's
seen that word before either.
No.
Sorry.
That's as big as marmalade, including not limited to the planter and garbage recycling bins. This sidewalk shall be built in accordance with the standards and specification of the City of Dauphin and to the satisfaction of the Public Works Department. The owner is required to enter into an agreement with the city approving the encroachment of the accessibility ramp going onto the City of Dauphin's sidewalk, and the owner shall indemnify and safe harness the city from all actions, causes of action, suits, legal fees, and disbursement on a solicitor and client basis claims and demands whatsoever which may arise as a result of the city entering into said agreement and permitting the owner to encroach onto the sidewalk. So that's a good move, and I know Super Thrifty has many clients that require accessibility ramps. So congratulate the Super Thrifty for doing such a project. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Staccato, whereas the City of Dauphin issued a request for proposal to provide audit services for the corporation for the next 3 years ending September 31st, 2020. And whereas one proposal was received from a qualified local public professional accounting firm, and be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memorandum dated September 20th, 2018 from the Director of Finance regarding the audit tender process, results, analysis, and recommendations. And further be it resolved that Council accepts the recommendation and appoints M&P LLP as auditor for the City of Dauphin for the 3 years ending December 31st, 2020 at the annual all-inclusive quote stipulated in their audit proposal. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Staccato, seconded by Councillor Deputy Mayor Bellemare, be it resolved that bylaw 08-2018 being a bylaw of the city of Dauphin to amend the fees, fines, and charges for municipal service bylaw 11/2017, be now read a first time. Any questions? All the questions, all in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Bellemare, seconded by Councilor Juba, be it resolved that council accepts as information invitations to the following events: the Community Mental Health Association Echo Fort grand opening, that's in Swan River, right? On September 27th, 2018. I can't attend, but if somebody wants to go on behalf of council, they're welcome to go. Addictions Foundation of Manitoba Agency Forum to discuss crystal meth use in Dauphin, October 5th, 2018. I will attend that. It's a watershed district transition planning meeting, October 12th, 2018. Councilor Eilers, thank you. And the Association of the AMM Annual Convention from November 26th to 28th, 2018. That's in Brandon, right?
Yes.
Winnipeg?
Oh, is it Winnipeg this year?
Okay. Okay, so we'll, once we,
You know you're going.
I know I'm going, we'll wait for the,
It'll be right after the Bombers win the Grey Cup.
okay, thank you. So, you have high hopes, Councilor Juba. And now, to Councilor privileges, and where did we start last time? So we'll go to the right wing. Your left, when facing left wing, my right, Deputy Mayor Bellemare.
Thank you. My report for council work since the last meeting, been several meetings, the regular council meeting and Dauphin and District Community Foundation, the Protective Services Committee meeting that our city manager mentioned, a DART meeting and a PNP meeting. For community events, Meals on Wheels, I've delivered those twice, a couple of times recently through Rotary, and I know that they're always looking for people or groups to deliver those meals, so if that's something you feel you may be interested in doing, call the hospital and they will connect you to the correct department and you can help out there. September 18th, I attended one of the real security presentations at the Lion's Den. And just a reminder to people, if you have an incident that happens to your person or your property, please report this to the RCMP because, of course, we need accurate statistics to determine the level of activity within our community. Notes of a few upcoming things. We have 2 bronze statue dedications that are coming up. These will be the last statues of the project as envisioned by Mayor Irwin. However, I have heard that there is another statue that's being planned by another group, so this bronze statue thing is catching on, not related to the city at all. The first dedication is actually this Friday at Gartmar Park at 11:30, and this statue is entitled The First Farm Families in Dauphin. And the sculptor will be there, Charlie Johnson, and also the Dauphin Pioneer Association is a big partner in this bronze statue. And then next week on October 3rd, there will also be a second dedication at Vermilion Park. And these are part of, well, certainly the one on Friday is kind of leading off with our culture days that are happening this weekend. There's a very full agenda that is available online. Thursday night they're doing a tour of churches around the town. So if there's a church you wanted to see and haven't been able to get there, Thursday night at 7 is your opportunity. And fall is a time of transitions. Besides being the last meeting of this council that the mayor had mentioned, it's also our last council meeting where Brad Collett, our city manager, will be present. So a big thank you to Brad for all that you've done for the city for the past 17 years, and it's been significant. And his expertise, professionalism, and dedication are much appreciated. So you will be greatly missed. And I also have full confidence in our new city manager, our previous assistant city manager, Charlotte Griffiths. She brings many well-honed skills and meaningful experience to this position. So we will be in very good hands at City Hall with you at the helm. And for the people knowing that there's an election coming up, the community forum is on Tuesday, October the 16th at 7 p.m. at the Lions Den. And there are 10 people running for these 6 chairs up here, so please come out and learn more about each of them before marking your ballot on the 24th of October. And congratulations to Mayor Dauphin for your next term. And I'd also like to thank all the city staff and my fellow councillors for the assistance they provided in the conversations we've shared for the last 4 years. It's been a great journey, and I'm looking forward to continuing with that experience should I be successfully re-elected on October 24th. And that concludes my report.
Councillor Duke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mine go back just a couple of weeks prior. I was, as I missed the September 10th meeting, just a couple of things from there. On August 27th, I attended the regular council meeting in City Hall. On the 28th of August, I attended the Dauphin District Allied Arts Council general meeting at the Watson Center. The annual general meeting. At the annual general meeting, Michelle Nyquist stepped aside as president and is now the past president. And I want to congratulate Yvonne Lilly is now the new president, and Adrienne Luke is now the vice president. And I served with Michelle Nyquist for the last 8 years, and I wanted to thank her for her excellent guidance and service and to the Watson Arts Center. And in her role as past president, she still will be on their executive and will be a guiding force. So it's just a little bit of a change in their executive, but they have a solid executive and a solid board. So look for more exciting things from the Watson Arts Center's executive committee and their board. That's it for there. On the September the 10th, I missed the city council meeting, but I did manage to make it back to Dauphin in time for the committee of the whole meeting here at City Hall, so I did partake in that. September the 12th, I attended the Protective Services Committee meeting here at City Hall, and it was interesting. Presentations, and there was other issues that were discussed at that meeting, and very enlightening to be part of that committee, and hopefully in years to come, upon re-election, if that's the case, have an opportunity to learn more about protective services from a management perspective. On the 17th of September, I attended the Planning and Priorities meeting here at City Hall. On the 20th, I attended the Dauphin Regional Airport Authority meeting. This also was held here in City Hall. On the 15th and 16th of September, I also took part in the Communities in Bloom curbside giveaway weekend program. And as alluded to, it was an excellent program. I managed to divest myself of some of the stuff that was around my home. And actually, there was some useful stuff that and people, as mentioned, didn't take long for it to move from the curb. And by all accounts, it was a well-organized event as well in our community, and a lot of people had the opportunity to acquire selected items that they perhaps wouldn't have, and maybe a turquoise tub. On September the 18th, I attended Real Security Solutions seminar at the Lions Den, and as Deputy Mayor Bellmare has alluded to, there were different points brought up in that meeting, and please call 911 and do report incidents to the police. They will act, and our police services are in this community. We're well served by our RCMP, and going forward, I'm sure issues will be addressed. On the weekend, I attended, for the most part, the first Kings hockey game of the season. It was well attended. I want to thank the Kings executive for making sure that all the fans were made welcome, and I really like the new uniforms, and I like the new. I just like the new setup, and they seem to have a lot of enthusiasm on their executive committee, and we really want the Kings to do well this year. So there's going to be a lot of hockey games this winter, so please come out and support the Dauphin Kings. They are going to do well. Just a couple of things as alluded to, Brad. I want to wish you all the very best. I know sometimes I must stand up when I was about to ask you a question, but I truly have utmost respect for you, and I hope our relationship has been excellent, and I want to wish you and Joelle the very best, and all the best in your future. And I know Charlotte, the new city manager, is going to do a great job, and I'm sure her hair stands up when I speak to her. And all joking aside, the city is in good hands, and congratulations, Mayor Dauphin, on your acclamation. And looking forward to, upon the people's wishes, looking forward to serving you and the community going forward. And I just want to repeat what Deputy Mayor Bellmeyer said. It's been a pleasure working with the rest of the council and everybody else in the community. It's been a great 4 years, and we certainly learned a lot about each other, and it's been excellent. So thank you very much. And just one other thing, I'm not a Ryder fan. I lost a bet to Mr. Rollick, and I can't afford 100 pounds of lobsters, so we opted for a t-shirt swap. So Brian, I'm wearing your shirt, so and that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Since September 10th City Council meeting, on September 13th, as mentioned before, I attended the public meeting for the proposed changes to the provincial boundaries. Mayor Dauphin and City Manager, and Mayor did an excellent presentation along with other presentations. There seem to be a lot of variations in how the boundaries should exist, and there was no agreement to the presented proposal of the Electoral Boundary Commission, and I really didn't, it was interesting how they came up with this boundaries. In other words, some of it didn't really make much sense. But we'll see how this goes. I think everybody did a really good job of presenting different views and considerations. On September 15th and 16th, of course, the CIB promotion of giveaway weekend, thanks to all those who participated and gave their unwanted items to be treasured by, of course, the new owners. So I think that went well, even though the weather wasn't very cooperative, especially on Sunday. On September 17th, of course, hazardous waste we've talked about before, and I just want to acknowledge all the volunteers for keeping the hazardous waste out of our landfill. And of course, there was a combined effort by the city crew, the firefighters, ECOL, the Lions Club, and of course, Miller Environment. On September 17th, we had the Planning and Priority meeting. On September 20th, we had a Cemetery Board meeting. And I'd like to also thank Anthony Semenyuk for Pine River. That's my hometown. He donated $20,000 to the Dauphin Hospital Foundation and $10,000 to the Dauphin Multi-Purpose Senior Center. This gentleman is really hard-working. I can remember him having looking after the store for all hours. He was very well appreciated in the community, and he worked very long hours to service our community. So I think this is really wonderful what he did. On October the 12th, we're going to have a watershed district meeting. Again, plans to realign the boundaries of the watershed. I'd also like to thank the Rotary Club. I believe we're celebrating all week long, so we've got two who sit on City Council, Mayor Al Dauphin and our Deputy Mayor Kathy Bellmeyer. And just wanted to reiterate that fall cleanup begins on October the 8th, and also that there, as mentioned before, the public forum is on October the 16th, debate of all the candidates, and the municipal elections on October 24th, and also advanced polling on October 18th at City Hall. So I want to also offer my congratulations and all the best to Brad and Joelle and on his retirement. I don't know if Joelle is going to retire as well, She is. Okay, well, then may both of you enjoy your next stage in your life. And I want to congratulate Al Dauphin on his acclamation as mayor. And good luck to all the candidates who are running for city council. I've enjoyed my time as a city councilor and I hope to continue. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Ehlers. Are you matching that amount for Mr. Summer?
I wish. But he had a few more years on me to earn that, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's got about, I'd say 40 years on me too.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to work on that.
Okay, thank you. Mentioned here, I'm humbled and I thank the Dauphin taxpayers for the confidence shown in me by claiming me as mayor for 4 more years. I'll not take this job lightly, as I see a lot of potential for Dauphin and area. My plans for the next 4 years, and all have the same priority, is to secure water supply, reliable 2 sources, expand sustainability initiative, accountability of public safety enforcement, prudent financial management, continued infrastructure replacement, pursue investment opportunities and sustain and grow our population, improve relations with parkland communities and tourism, business and recreational opportunities, investigate opportunities in the recreation, education and culture areas. These are my plans. My wish is that the new council will adopt and work with me to better our community and region. And for the people running for council, and I'm going to read a part of the Winnipeg Free Press Saturday 22nd editorial. Nobody gets into civic politics for the money, or ego gratification, or, heaven forbid, for small-scale fame and or notoriety a council position affords. Council work is a grind, plain and simple, and the people who seek it, do it, tend to be motivated by a shared understanding the hard work needs to be done, and a confident belief that it stands a better chance of being done well if they're the ones doing it. So please take that to heart, and in all incumbents and new people applying, it's not a one issue. You have to look at the whole community. I thank to Councillor Tkachuk, this is his last meeting, he's not here, for his contribution to make Dauphin a better place to live. Your input on public safety issues, recreation, and untidy properties will be missed. And all the best to Keith. As mentioned, this is City Manager Brad Collette's final council meeting. I thank you, Brad, for 17 years of exemplary service to the Dauphin taxpayer. Many public works, sustainable and prudent financial stewardship initiative enabled Mayor and Council to reduce property taxes by 15%. There are other initiatives, but I need a couple hours for that to come. Sincere thanks, Brett. All the best to you and Joelle in retirement. The meetings, September 11th, the Dauphin Public Library meeting. 12th, the Protective Services presentation on 13th to the Electoral Boundaries Commission suggesting an east-west parkland constituency. And anybody can still make an online submission up to and including October 1st. Then they're taking a couple weeks break, and then I think in December they're coming out with the final report or something like that. September 13th, I also assisted MLA Brad Michaleski to turn the switch to activate the traffic lights on Mountain and River. And at least I never went through yet, so. And September 17th, attended the planning and priorities meeting. On the 19th, the city manager and I attended the EMM City Caucus meeting, and Glens Lawn issues discussed were the municipal road and bridge program. Some communities received nothing or a small amount, just like Dauphin, and they're very upset over this. And the program was announced so late that some communities were into the project, and they had to scramble, how are we going to pay, and emergency withdrawals from reserves, etc., etc. The Whistle Protection Act caught some communities by surprise, and me too. More details are to come. The AMM is hung up on cannabis, and they provided a cannabis cost tracker tool. I don't know if it's of any use, but they provided it anyway. The 911 responses are, many communities complained about time delays and confusion where the calls are going, especially in the north. Some have gone to Saskatoon and this type of thing, and it's a real problem for them. I mentioned the problem with 204, 622, 50, 50, and 622, 50, 20. And I urge residents in emergency situations, call 911. All communities mentioned they have increased shoplifting and property crimes. It's just not a Dauphin situation, it's throughout the province. AMM suggested a unified voice at the November convention, and their slogan of fair share, fair say, and they certainly suggested for municipalities to be heard, especially at the cabinet meetings there. So that ends my report. I wish all the councillors. Oh, I'm sorry, David.
That's, no, I find it very admirable that you let me have the last word. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah, it was all planned there. No, just before that, Devin, wish all I think everybody's running from council and all the people that put their names on. It's an important contribution that you're going to be making to your community, so play fair and all the best. And now I'll call on Councillor Staccato with closing remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. For myself, September 10th, regular council meeting. September 13th, Chamber of Commerce meeting. It's our first meeting back from the summer break, and Executive Director there was happy to announce that Street Fair was a success once again this year, so that's always a good thing. And next steps for the Chamber, moving forward with the regional Chamber of Commerce model, so that will be more on that in the coming months. September 17th, Planning and Priorities meeting. September 19th, DNRC meeting. With that one, there's still some funding available through the Small Grants Fund, so if there's any local organizations that are looking for some funding, by all means get in contact with Mary Meyer or Allison Moss at DNRC. September 20th, Airport Board meeting. At that meeting we welcomed the newly appointed city reps, Mike Seversko and Mark Cohen, as well as the incoming accountable executive, Charlotte Griffiths. And also at that meeting, that one was the outgoing accountable executive, Mr. Collett's last meeting there. I know over the time I've been on the board, he's worked tirelessly on many files for the airport, most notably getting the lease agreements in line and in place, as well as the safety management plan, the land use development out there with a few new builds, having to work on those files, as well as streamlining the operations as a result of the loss of the daily scheduled service. So make sure you work on that board, Brad. As was mentioned earlier, September 28th to 29th, well, to the 30th is Culture Days, and I was going over the brochure, and there's quite a number of events. Some have already been talked about, including the bronze statue dedication and yard fringe, but it's just it's another great lineup, and it's there's ways to get involved not only there but online. I see there's some lead-up events. A challenge to do some selfies with Dauphin's famous mascot, the beaver. So you're supposed to take a picture and hashtag that. So that's fun. So that's coming up. So that'll be great. And as mentioned numerous times already, this is the last council meeting for this current council. So I just want to thank all my fellow councillors for all their dedication over the past 4 years, and some of them even longer. It's been great learning from you and working with you on many of the projects throughout the city. So thank you very much. Congratulations to Brad on your retirement. All the best to you and Joelle as you head off into the sunset on your next chapter. And again, congrats to Charlotte on the new position, and all the best with that. And also to the gracious Mr. Mayor, congratulations on your acclamation. So the city, as stated, the city's in good hands moving forward, and I encourage everyone to get out and vote. With that ends my report. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillors. My apologies. I was so excited about my report. Yeah, on cultural days, on the yard fringe, the mayor will do a pop-up performance along the way.
Out of the balcony?
Out of the balcony.
Yeah, I don't know, Councillor too. But it's something about voting, so. And moved by Councillor Eilers and seconded by Councillor Stakilo, be resolved that the council meeting be recessed. All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you.